Sajid, the founder and chief executive officer of RYC Global, formerly known as RYC Bangladesh. And today, on our very first meetup, we have a really special guest with us. We have Sajid bin Mahmud, who is currently a student of Mirzapur Cadet College. Some of you guys who are into debates and public speaking already know this figure from Bangladesh. So hi Sajid, how's everything going?
Everything's going fine, except for the fact that my glass is broken. So can I wear this?
Yeah, definitely, Sajid. Yes, you can go on.
It's comfortable with this thing.
Perfect, Sajid. Perfect. So I will ask you later on what happened with the glasses, but let's have an
introduction first.
All right. So let the people know who you are.
Hi everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Dipro. So I'm Sajid. I go to Mirzapur Cadet College. I'm an HSC candidate, but my HSC is postponed, so that's a good news as well. And I do debate. I love public speaking. I'm a low-key writer. I sometimes write, and that's totally for myself. And I'm so interested about RYC and its public speaking competition, to be honest. I got into Cadet College in 2014, and I didn't have any prior knowledge into public speaking, and I recently got introduced to it around the year 2016 or so. Then I started speaking. Overall, that's what my career, so-called career, is.
Yeah, that's a really good introduction, honestly. So Sajid, the thing that you said about public speaking, you came into this entire circuit in 2016 and 17. So it's the year 2020. It has been almost 4 years. So what are the accomplishments that you consider as the peak of your, like the zenith of your public speaking career, or the things that you accomplished so far?
Well, if you talk about accomplishment, well, I had many accomplishments. One of the accomplishments is meeting you personally, and the other accomplishments should include that I had the opportunity to represent my institution in several competitions in, let's say, for example, there is a competition called National Debate Fest, NDF, and they annually host a debate festival. So there is a public speaking competition. That's where everything began. So I went there, I won a prize. I won the third prize or fourth prize. I don't specifically remember, but that was my introduction to public speaking. Then I thought, all right, so I might find public speaking enjoyable. Let's start doing it. So I kept on doing it. Then I did one MUN, and I did my first MUN in Scholastica, Model United Nations. So that wasn't a very good experience for me because on the second day I got sick. So I had to cut that off. So that wasn't technically my first month, but my first month was NSUI month, like 2019. That was really good. But before that, my real inspiration towards public speaking began when I participated in international public speaking competition, the national rounds. So yeah, that's one of the biggest achievements I should say to my field of public speaking.
Great. Sajid, as far as I am concerned, you did not only participated in the IPSC, right? That was not up to it. So could you please elaborate on what IPSC is and what did you do in the national rounds? Were you even qualified or something, right?
I was on the verge of being disqualified, but let's get that part apart.
Okay.
Everything. I think the participation was my biggest achievement that I think was very influential for my public speaking career as a whole and overall. But in case of IPSC, there are basically two rounds. We call them, the first round is called the initial rounds, and the second one is finals. So I got selected on the first round. That the secret behind the first round selection should be kept a secret. Later, if we get time, I will elaborate on why and how I got selected into it, on following some darkest themes that I mentioned that I don't want to mention at this point. But on the national rounds, I alhamdulillah, I became the champion of Bangladesh. Then I had the opportunity to represent Bangladesh. Stop doing that.
All right.
Then I had the opportunity to represent my country in London, which I represented my country along with 54 participants from all around the world, and they were really good.
So the ones who are watching this on Facebook, The moral of the story is Sajid was a national champion of IPSC Bangladesh, and he made it to the top 12 of the main competition. Congratulations on that, Sajid, for making Bangladesh proud in the first place. That is the one of the main things. So yeah, Sajid, the thing is, based on the current situation, we are in the middle of a pandemic. So we understand that doing everything else, like the world is kind of in a break right now. So the reason why RYC introduced this online public speaking concept so that the youths can engage themselves into something productive during the quarantine. However, we must also consider the fact that public speaking is an art that can obviously not be shown 100% through this video that we are doing right now.
Yeah.
However, there are major aspects of public speaking, which are the tips and hacks. So could you share from your own perspective that when it comes to public speaking, what are the main things that you need to consider when it comes to a good speaker?
Well, there are not a specific set of elements that defines a good speaker, because there are multiple aspects that you judge a speaker with. To my own opinion, I think a good speaker, to be specific, knows what he's talking about. That's the most important thing. I guess having an opinion and having the strength to represent that opinion, that's what distinguishes a speaker, a general speaker or a writer, and a good speaker. So when you have a good opinion, or let's say, for example, you have a bad opinion, but you have the strength and you have the ability to have full confidence on it and go on to represent your opinion in front of people so that they believe in your opinion as well. So I think that's very important. And for doing so, I don't think it's really matter. Like, obviously it matters that you're representing yourself in front of a big audience, or let's say, for example, you are physically present in front of your audience. That really matters. But in case of giving your opinion to people and believing in it, if your face has that expression that very opinion is really important to you, then obviously at some point the audience might feel, or should feel, that yes, that opinion has some value. And that can be done anyway, in front of a pandemic, inside a pandemic, or outside a pandemic.
Perfect. You know, one of the most common questions that I got when it came to this competition is, Bhaiya, this is a public speaking competition. So the speaking matters, not the content. And I was like, if I tell you to talk about a cow, you can talk about a goat. Like, no matter how much elaborately, facially constructive way you say it. So obviously content does matter when it comes to public speaking, right? It does.
Definitely.
It definitely does.
Definitely.
So, yeah. So coming to the next point, Sajid, you know, public speaking has a lot of elements. So what did you feel was your weakness, considering that you have achieved a lot of heights? But I would like to start not from your strengths, but your weakness. What you felt kind of it engaged you to something that would not let you speak properly in front of people. What are the limitations that you faced when it came to a big audience and something like that?
To be honest, I like audience. Like, it's always good to have people listen to you, and it's always good to have people believe in what you're saying. So as I said on the how I got into the final rounds of IPSC, that reminds me of this answer, that I literally went in front of everyone and I started acting that my legs are aching, that I cannot possibly stand because my legs are very painful right now. So that acting was not acceptable in front of an audience. Like, you cannot do that in front of everyone, right? That's a formal session. But I did that, and I did that because I needed my attention, the attention of audience who are going to listen to me, for making them understand that it matters for me to understand what condition I'm speaking with. I think that is important in case of a speaker, to make his or her audience understand the speaker's condition, that what perspective or what context the speaker is coming from. Now, on your question about limitation, I do feel sometimes that my audience are not, I and my audience, we are not on the same page. That's what many speakers feel. So that's the most important thing that a speaker must keep in mind, that whatever he or she is speaking, he must speak with elements that are already present in the listeners or the audience's brain, because they have to interpret your language into their language so that they can understand your concept in brief. But you cannot necessarily speak about general theory of relativity in front of second grade students, right? You have to put it in such a language that is understandable from their context. So understanding your context and making them understand and their context, like I messed it up, I'm sorry. Like understanding your context and providing them an opinion to have their context is one of the most important things in public speaking that I should think that people should remember.
Perfect, Sajid. So here's the thing. I mainly have an MUN background. You have a debating background. But the main thing that I consider in my MUN career, like it's nothing special, Sajid. Like my accomplishments are nothing compared to yours. So as I was saying, the main thing that I consider when it comes to speaking in an MUN2 is basically to engage the audience. It's like what we say, it has to grab the attention of everyone in the room. Let it be, as you said, by acting, by, your knees are hurting and certain things like that. I've also seen a lot of videos, Sajid, I've seen a lot of videos on the International Toastmasters. That's one of the largest competitions available for public speaking. So there was this guy who was the champion, and he was literally portraying his underwear as an item in the grand finale, just to seek attention. And then there was this guy who used magic. For example, he used a rose, and then all the petals included all the aspects of his life. And then after that, he just made the rose vanish, and then it again reappeared. So,
and there was Muhammad Katani. There was Muhammad Katani who used a cigarette.
Yes, with the cigarette. Yeah. That was really funny. So do you think that humor or like emotionally touching the audience is one of the key factors of public speaking?
Definitely, it is. So before you go to a set of people and you ask them, all right, guys, do you want to listen to me? So they won't feel the necessity to pay attention.
Definitely.
So like it's really important to have a specific element that draws their attention, that makes them feel that, all right, we need to listen to that guy. That guy has something special to say. I would like to clarify this whole thing with an example. Let's say, for example, you ask a speaker that, all right, tell us something about COVID-19. So like you go in front of everyone and you start speaking about COVID-19. No, you have terrible amount, like I should say gargantuan amount of information of what COVID-19 is, but the speaker you will listen to and pay attention is a speaker who will introduce it in an interesting manner. You will listen to the speaker who will say, COVID-19 is a television channel. Why it's a television channel?
That was something like, that was great.
Definitely it was.
Yeah.
Because like it's one of the way to draw attention, to show people that you're stammering, and to get them to know that, all right, what's wrong with that guy? That's what I use. Like, don't mind it. The fact is, when you introduce something in an interesting manner, let's say, for example, COVID-19 is a TV channel, so like that immediately draws their attention. In case of my final speech, I started with, guys, my father is a drug dealer. That was my introduction, and that drew all of their attentions. Why is that? Because people like to see things that they don't see always, right? So that's basically drawing attention, the part that you talked about capturing the, like, making yourself the center of the room. That's what you're going to do in case of any speaker that is important, to draw your audience's attention. Then if you draw their attention, but at some point you make them disappointed by showing them that your logic doesn't have any standing, like you're understating your own assumptions, then that, I think, is the worst mistake for a speaker. Because before drawing their attention, you also have to understand that you must have a logical reasoning behind your speech. That is also very important in case of making a speech. A logical reasoning that you should understand, that you have your confidence on the logics behind your speech, of course.
Understand. It's basically, it's sort of a game, but you have to know how to play it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, guys, if you're watching this, if you want to take these advices in hand, also ensure that like Sajid is really experienced, so he knows how to play his game. So do not just come up with something come up with something innovative, but don't make it look stupid at the end of the day, because you have to have proper reasoning behind everything, right? So you just can start like, my life is like an underwear, and then you just go on saying something else. Like, you can't do that. You have to.
That's a good understanding. Like, that's a good understanding that like your life is like like an underwear, and that's a good way to capture your attention. Unless you know how to relate underwear to your life, right? Underwear stinks. My life does as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good way of saying it. When it comes to like, I was thinking about myself as a participant in this contest, and I was just looking at my surrounding, that whatever I have next to my laptop, I would use that as a prop. For example, my life is like this comb, or my life is like this glass, anything that comes in handy. Because when we progress in the competition, we will be looking for impromptu speeches. Although in the first initial rounds, we are giving them 60 seconds to think about that. So Sajid, in general, do you have any tips or strategies for all the participants when it comes to the public speaking competition in the online version specifically?
Yes, I definitely have. The first one that I feel is most important is there are no rules, that you cannot capture yourself inside rules. So you have constraints, you have time constraints, you have constraints with the camera and the audibility of your voice, but you have no rules. That's the most important thing. So you can go about any way you like, you can go about any how you want, but you cannot literally show up in an underwear in front of all of us, right? That's not going to be a wise thing to do. But other than that, you can really go on with your flow. And the most important thing that you have to do is you have to believe in your opinion, and believing in your own opinion gives you the strength to represent your opinion in front of a large audience. So the only thing that I would like to recommend to the participants of this global competition is that to provide importance to their own opinion, to provide the delicate amount of significance to what they understand, to provide a significance about the logic behind the reasoning, so that they can represent it and we can see it in their face. And we always feel good when we see people believing in their own things, right?
Perfect, Sajid. And if you guys rewind this tape, you're gonna see that our Sajid has been constantly moving his hand, and he doesn't even know it. So that kind of shows, like, honestly, Sajid, I kind of love this concept. I was told that the hand gestures are really important when it comes to speaking. It kind of draws that attention, and obviously it's one of the main elements to it. And did you know that you were moving your hands in all the directions? Was it willing or unwilling?
I don't know, like which direction I was going, this or that.
Not something like that. I guess it was something really involuntary, but it kind of engaged me seeing you as a person, like virtually. So exactly, that's something what leaders do. They don't even know that when they have an influence on people. So you definitely did that on me today, Sajid. That was great. So do you have any final remarks before moving on to what you think about RYC Global, and a small message to all the participants out there?
All right. So the first thing that I really feel about RYC Global is the strength behind it. I've seen big organizers, right? I've seen ESU, I've seen ESU Bangladesh, and I see the range of activity that they can perform. But in the scale of what RYC is doing, it's really appreciable, first of all, and it's really admirable, because not everyone out of nowhere has the capability to organize an international public speaking event. That RYC had the courage and the leader to do it, of course. But the message the message that I feel I should provide all the participants from 7 continents.
6 continents, because there's no one from Antarctica, unfortunately.
6 continents. Then the message that I would like to leave is that you have to believe in your idea, and you have to have the strength to represent yourself. And that's what distinguishes you from all the participants. And that is important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sajid. Guys, if you have watched till the end, I would like to say a huge thank you to every single one of you, because, in this pandemic, the main problem that we all have is a lack of unity, which we're trying to bring about. Like, as of now, as I am saying this in this video, we have people from 32 countries. And that to me is huge, because when I started it, I wanted this project to be limited to Chittagong. From Chittagong, it spread to Dhaka. From Dhaka, it spread to Bangladesh. From there to Asia, and then to the other continents. So to me, it's something huge. And I really believe that with so many potential participants in the first place, I really believe that we can get our first ever RYC Global Public Speaking Champion. And we really hope that you can utilize this platform to learn something. That is the first thing. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Sajid, do you have anything to add on?
I think I added my last opinion on your last question.
Right.
So I'd like to wish good luck to all of you.
Perfect.
And like, by the way, like the thing you do all often, like doing this, does that give you a sense of confidence? And why do you have a comb in front of you, all the time?
All right, that's a really good question. So first of all, I'm not used to this type of haircut. So a lot of people in my house.
Looks good. It's good. It's good. It's
perfect, Sajid. Thank you so much. Yeah. The problem is, Sajid, a lot of my family members have gone bald, but I really don't want to take that step, of course. So considering that, I always have a comb in mind, because, as I'm dealing with an international community, I literally have a meeting every now and then. And you as a friend, do not bother what hair am I presenting in front of you. However, there are some people, big names in the circuit who might think that, what is this guy up to? So just for that, I have the comb. I have a lot of things on my desk, actually. So I have this. This is one of my special things, which I always keep in front of me. This is my vlogging camera. So this is always here with me.
That's great.
So and this was one of the biggest investments that I did. And I always use this for learning public speaking. Like, I actually met you through YouTube videos, right? I would have never known Sajid if I wouldn't have made a couple of videos or posted them in the Bangladesh Beyond Borders post. So every single thing that I did kind of is special to me. Thank you so much, Sajid. I guess this is the end of this. I won't say this is a meeting. It was rather a chit chat between two friends sharing some thoughts. So thank you for joining. It meant the world to me, honestly. And the fact that you are a part of RYC Global right now, we are honored to have you aboard. So thank you so much. And before ending the call, we were supposed to discuss something else. That what happened to your spectacles? What is the mystery behind that?
About my spectacles, as you should understand that under the current circumstances that we are in, that I had a serious fight with my brother. So he's quite fat, so he jumped on me, and I was unaware of the circumstances that were going through my spectacles, and suddenly they broke on my face. So I had a little cut that I tried to hide from you, but that's fine, I guess, right now. So I'm currently working with this one because I cannot get any spectacles at this situation. All the shops are closed, so I cannot manage one. So this is the only thing that I can happen to use right now. Yeah.
So the mystery has been revealed about your spectacles. I was thinking something else, and of course, that is no longer in mind.
Oh,
so thank you so much, Sajid.
That didn't happen. I know what you were thinking, but that didn't happen. Obviously, I'm gonna bet on that.
All right, Sajid. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but I hope that we are on the same page. This is going to be it. Thank you so much for joining. We really look forward for you to join one of the sessions as our adjudicator. It would be an honor. So yeah, this is it for this. I guess we can end the meeting right now.
Thank you so much for your time, and I'm really honored to have an interview with such a great CEO. And good luck for RYC ahead.